On a crowded street corner in Los Angeles, a homeless artist sat cross-legged on the pavement, surrounded by torn sketchbooks and dreams long forgotten. With nothing but a pencil and raw talent, he spent his days drawing strangers who barely spared him a glance. But one quiet morning, as he sketched the silhouette of a man sipping coffee across the street, he had no idea he was capturing the face of a global icon, Keanu Reeves. What happened in the minutes that followed would not only change his fate, but reveal a side of Keanu the world rarely gets to see. This is a story of unexpected kindness, second chances, and the power of pure talent that refused to be ignored. Section 1. The Artist on the Street. Once he had a name people respected in his small town. Amir was known as the boy who could draw anything: faces, buildings, emotions. He made them come alive with a pencil and a sheet of paper. He dreamed of studying at an art school, of one day having his own gallery where his work would speak louder than his voice ever could. But life, as it often does, had other plans. After losing his parents in a tragic accident and being left with nothing but a few unfinished canvases, Amir's dreams began to fade. He drifted from job to job, struggling to stay afloat in a city that had no space for the broken. Eventually, rent outpaced hope. His apartment slipped away, and the streets of Los Angeles became his reluctant home. Nights were spent under overpasses, days on sidewalks where he sketched anything he could see: trees, strangers, cars, whatever could distract him from hunger and despair. His only possessions were a weathered backpack, a handful of dull pencils, and a sketch pad with pages filled not just with art, but with pain. People passed him every day. Some dropped coins, most didn't even look. To them, he was just another homeless man on the street. But he wasn't begging. He never held a sign. Instead, he offered something different: portraits for $1, caricatures for $2. A few kind souls appreciated his skill and left more than he asked, but most just walked by. What Amir longed for wasn't charity, it was a chance. A moment where someone would see the artist behind the unwashed clothes and sunken eyes. Despite everything, he never stopped drawing. It was his therapy, his rebellion, his way of saying, "I'm still here." He believed that one day someone would notice. Not just the sketch, but the soul behind it. He didn't know when or how, but he believed, and that belief kept him going. Then came the day when he began sketching a quiet man sitting across from him at a cafe. Just another study, another stranger, or so he thought. What he didn't know was that this particular drawing would be the one that changed everything, because that quiet man wasn't just anyone. He was Keanu Reeves. Section 2. A sketch unlike any other. It started like any ordinary morning for Amir. He had taken his usual spot near the corner of a busy cafe in downtown Los Angeles. With his sketch pad balanced on one knee and a pencil gripped loosely in his fingers, he scanned the street for something, anything, to capture. He wasn't searching for beauty anymore. He was searching for distraction. A fleeting moment, an expression, a posture. That day, his tired eyes landed on a man sitting alone at a sidewalk table, sipping coffee with quiet focus. There was something calm about him. He wasn't on his phone, wasn't lost in conversation, and didn't carry the usual rush of the city. He simply sat there, relaxed, almost invisible to everyone else. To Amir, that stillness was rare and worth sketching. The lines of his face were striking, not because of fame or status, but because they told a story. Deep eyes, slightly tousled hair, a thoughtful brow. He had a face that seemed familiar, but Amir didn't place it. To him, it was just another subject, another piece of street art. Amir's pencil moved steadily across the page. Years of practice made it effortless, almost meditative. He didn't try to make the man look better than he was. He simply drew him as he saw him, present, gentle, human. His goal was never flattery, it was honesty. And this man, in his quiet presence, deserved that honesty. As the portrait took shape, Amir felt something unusual, not nerves or excitement, but connection. Like this sketch mattered more than the dozens he'd done before. He couldn't explain it. Maybe it was the emotion behind the man's eyes. Maybe it was his own exhaustion mixing with intuition. But something told him this drawing was different. By the time Amir added the final strokes, he paused and looked at what he had created. The image on the page held more than just likeness. It held something real. He didn't know that this man was Keanu Reeves, an international movie star known for his humility. He didn't realize the weight of the moment or how this single drawing would open a door he thought was permanently closed. To Amir, it was just another sketch. But destiny had already begun to stir. Section 3. The Unexpected Encounter. Amir was used to people ignoring him. At most, some would glance down at his sketches and offer a polite nod before continuing on their way. He had long accepted that attention was fleeting and that true interest was rare. But something about this moment felt different. The man he had just sketched didn't walk away like the others. He looked directly at Amir, noticed the drawing in his hands, and stood up. Calmly, quietly, he approached. There was no judgment in his expression, only curiosity. His eyes fell on the portrait, then lifted to meet Amir's, as if trying to reconcile the face in the drawing with the artist who had created it. Most people reacted with surprise or amusement when they saw themselves rendered in pencil, but this man looked almost moved. He didn't speak right away. Instead, he studied the lines and shading, as though he understood the effort and emotion behind each stroke. For Amir, it was an unfamiliar feeling, being seen, truly seen. Not as a homeless man or a street artist, but as someone with skill, with value. The man asked a simple question. "Did you draw this?" Amir nodded, unsure of what to expect. There was no crowd, no dramatic moment. Just a brief exchange between two strangers, one famous, the other forgotten. The man held the sketch delicately, as if it were something precious. He asked if Amir had more drawings, more work he could look at. Amir, caught off guard, pulled out a few worn sheets from his backpack. Portraits, cityscapes, character sketches. His entire portfolio was carried in folded paper and fading pencil marks. The man took his time flipping through them, appreciating the raw, unfiltered talent. What struck him most wasn't just the technical skill, it was the emotion behind the art. These weren't just pictures, they were reflections of someone who had felt life deeply. Pain, joy, solitude. It was all there, pressed between graphite and grit. Then came the unexpected question. "Would you let me keep this one?" Amir hesitated, then nodded. He had given away drawings before, but this felt different. He didn't know who this man really was. He didn't know what would come next. But for the first time in years, he felt like someone was opening a door instead of walking past it. Section 4. A quiet offer of help. The man didn't ask probing questions. He didn't comment on Amir's appearance or ask why he was on the street. Instead, his interest stayed entirely on the art. That, in itself, was a rare kindness. For someone who had grown used to being overlooked, Amir wasn't prepared for someone to focus so intently on his work, especially someone with such a calm and respectful presence. The man asked for Amir's name, and when Amir replied, there was no awkward pause, no pity, just a gentle smile, and then another unexpected question. "Do you have a phone or email where people can reach you?" Amir shook his head. No phone, no online profile, no way to be contacted. For years, he had existed in the cracks of society, where connections weren't just hard, they were impossible. The man paused for a moment, then offered something even more surprising. He said he wanted to help. Not in a grand, public gesture, but something simple, something quiet. He asked if Amir would be open to meeting someone who might want to see more of his work. a friend who owned a small gallery and had a love for raw, street-discovered talent. No promises, no pressure, just an introduction. Amir, unsure of what to say, nodded slowly. The idea felt unreal. People didn't offer opportunities like that to someone like him, not without a catch. But there was no catch here, just sincerity. The man reached into his pocket and handed Amir something, a folded note with a name, a contact, and a time. He said to be at a nearby cafe the next morning if he was interested. Nothing more. No speeches, no spotlight, no cameras. Just a genuine offer, shared without fanfare. It was the kind of gesture Amir had only imagined in his loneliest moments. Someone recognizing his potential and offering him a door, quietly cracked open. He watched as the man turned to leave, offering a wave and one final smile. It wasn't until later that Amir would realize who he had just met. But even in that moment, with no idea of the man's fame or fortune, he knew something unusual had just happened. Not charity, not pity, something far better. Belief. Section 5. From Pavement to Platform. By the next day, Amir arrived at the cafe as instructed. He wasn't sure if it was real, if anyone would show, or if the man he met was simply being kind. But when a woman from a local art space walked in with a warm smile and a genuine interest in his work, everything changed. She introduced herself as a friend of the man he'd sketched and asked to see more of his art. Amir unfolded each fragile page with trembling hands, his entire body tense with uncertainty. But what followed was something he hadn't felt in years: validation. That same evening, the man Amir had drawn, now confirmed in his mind as Keanu Reeves, posted a photo of the sketch on his social media with a simple caption: "Talent is everywhere. Meet Amir." He tagged no brands, made no announcement, and didn't direct anyone to donate. He simply let the art speak for itself. Within hours, the post went viral. Thousands of people began sharing the sketch, praising Amir's raw talent and asking where they could find more of his work. Art communities, gallery owners, and journalists started digging. Who was this mystery artist living on the street? How had he captured so much emotion in a single pencil portrait? The attention snowballed. Amir's name trended on multiple platforms. Strangers began visiting the cafe corner just to meet him. Photos of his drawings circulated across the internet, and messages flooded in from people offering supplies, shelter, and, more importantly, opportunities. A crowdfunding page, started anonymously, began collecting donations to help Amir get back on his feet. Within a week, it had surpassed every expectation. But Amir stayed grounded. What mattered most wasn't the sudden fame. It was that his work had finally found a platform. Not because he shouted the loudest, but because someone had noticed his quiet voice and amplified it without altering it. Amir's days on the pavement were ending, replaced by invitations from art spaces, live sketch events, and interviews that focused not on his struggles, but on his skill. The world had discovered him, not through tragedy, but through talent. And all it took was one person who chose to share instead of ignore. Section 6. Life begins again. With newfound recognition, Amir's life began to shift in ways he had never imagined possible. The flood of support wasn't just online, it quickly became tangible. People who once ignored him on the streets were now reaching out with offers of help. Art collectors contacted him for commissions, eager to own pieces from the artist who had captured the attention of so many. Local businesses requested murals and portraits, giving Amir the chance to work regularly and earn steady income for the first time in years. Most importantly, Amir found a place to call home. A nonprofit organization specializing in helping artists experiencing homelessness offered him a small studio apartment, complete with basic supplies and a quiet space where he could focus on his craft. For Amir, having a roof over his head wasn't just about shelter, it was the foundation for rebuilding his confidence and his future. The highlight came when a respected local gallery invited Amir to hold his first solo exhibition. The gallery, known for showcasing emerging talents, saw in Amir's work a unique combination of raw emotion and technical skill. The exhibition attracted art critics, journalists, and collectors alike, all eager to witness the journey of the homeless artist who sketched a Hollywood star. The event was not just a showcase of his art, but a celebration of resilience and second chances. Amir's work began selling, and with each sale his sense of self-worth grew. No longer did he feel invisible or forgotten. Instead, he felt seen, appreciated, and hopeful. The money he earned allowed him to buy better art supplies, attend workshops, and even start teaching art classes to others facing hardship. His art became a tool for healing, not just for himself, but for others. Throughout all this, Amir remained humble and grounded. He never forgot the man who had quietly changed his life by stopping to notice his talent. That single act of kindness was a turning point, proving that sometimes what a person needs most is not charity, but belief. Amir's story became an inspiration to many, an example of how talent combined with compassion can rewrite the narrative of a life once written in struggle. Section 7. Keanu's Hidden Mission. Keanu Reeves has always been known for his humility and kindness, but few know the full extent of his quiet generosity. Far from the spotlight and paparazzi, Keanu has made it a personal mission to help people in ways that go largely unseen by the public. For years, he's been quietly supporting individuals and causes that resonate deeply with him, often those who are overlooked or underestimated by society. Amir's story was just one example among many. Keanu's friends and colleagues have shared anecdotes of how he has stepped in to assist people without seeking credit or publicity. Whether it was paying off a struggling crew member's medical bills, donating to community shelters anonymously, or mentoring young artists who lacked resources, Keanu's acts of kindness happen behind closed doors. He believes that true generosity should never be about recognition, but about making a real difference where it's needed most. This hidden mission aligns with Keanu's own life experiences. Having faced hardships himself, losing close family members, struggling with personal loss, and enduring years in the demanding entertainment industry, he understands what it feels like to be vulnerable and unseen. His compassion drives him to use his platform not just to entertain, but to uplift. In Amir's case, Keanu saw more than just a homeless artist with talent. He saw a person with a story, potential, and dignity. Instead of a public spectacle, Keanu chose a subtle approach, offering a quiet connection and opening a door through trusted friends. This allowed Amir to rise on his own merit, not because of a celebrity endorsement. It was a deliberate choice that showed Keanu's respect for Amir's independence and pride. Behind the scenes, Keanu continues to support many similar stories, helping people rebuild their lives through small but meaningful gestures. This consistent pattern reveals a man who uses his fame responsibly, committed to changing lives in genuine ways without fanfare. Ultimately, Keanu's hidden mission is a powerful reminder. Sometimes the greatest acts of kindness happen quietly, and those are the ones that truly change the world. Section 8. A Bond Beyond Fame. What began as a chance encounter soon grew into a unique and genuine friendship between Amir and Keanu Reeves. Despite the vast differences in their lives, one a global superstar, the other once homeless and struggling, there was an unspoken respect and connection that transcended status and fame. Keanu didn't treat Amir as a charity case or a project. Instead, he treated him like a peer, someone whose talent and humanity deserved recognition on equal terms. Their bond developed quietly over time. Keanu stayed in touch, often checking in on Amir's progress and offering encouragement without making it about publicity or obligation. They shared conversations about art, life, and the challenges both had faced. For Amir, this friendship became a source of inspiration and strength. It showed him that kindness doesn't have an agenda and that true friendship can be found in the most unexpected places. Keanu's support went beyond words. He invited Amir to attend film premieres, art exhibitions, and industry events, not as a celebrity's companion, but as a respected artist in his own right. These experiences helped Amir build confidence and networks that had once seemed impossible. The two also collaborated on small projects. What made their friendship especially meaningful was the way it was rooted in authenticity. Keanu never flaunted his fame around Amir, and Amir never let his past define him. Together, they demonstrated that true connections are about shared values, respect, trust, and mutual support, rather than titles or wealth. This bond also highlighted the power of one simple act of kindness to rewrite an entire future. For Amir, meeting Keanu wasn't just a stroke of luck, it was a turning point that led to renewed purpose and opportunity. For Keanu, it was a reminder of why he chooses to help quietly, one person at a time. Their story continues to inspire others, proving that compassion and genuine human connection can bridge any gap. In a world often divided by status and circumstance, Amir and Keanu's friendship is a testament to how kindness can create lasting change, not just for one life, but for many. Section 9. The Ripple Effect of Compassion. Amir's transformation from a homeless street artist to a recognized talent sparked more than just a personal success story. It created a ripple effect that extended far beyond the art world. His journey became a beacon of hope for countless others who found themselves marginalized, overlooked, or struggling to find their place in society. Through his art and his story, Amir showed that talent and dignity exist in every corner, no matter how hidden or forgotten. The media coverage and viral attention around Amir's rise helped challenge common stereotypes about homelessness and poverty. Instead of a narrative focused solely on hardship, his story highlighted resilience, skill, and the importance of seeing people for their potential rather than their circumstances. It inspired many organizations to reconsider how they support artists and individuals experiencing homelessness, emphasizing empowerment and opportunity over charity alone. Community centers and nonprofits reported an increase in interest in their programs as more people realized that creative expression could be a powerful tool for healing and rebuilding lives. Schools incorporated Amir's story into their curricula to teach empathy and the value of kindness. Art festivals began inviting artists from underserved backgrounds, recognizing the richness that diversity of experience brings to the creative world. Keanu Reeves' role in this story also emphasized the profound impact that individuals with resources and influence can have when they choose compassion over indifference. His quiet intervention showed that change doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small acts of recognition and belief that open doors and alter lives. Thanks for watching.